And so if we look at our map, let's just see what areas have we and have we not explored. I mean, kind of we went along the edge here. Like there's a chance we missed some stuff right here, although that's more or less where we spawned in. So there's a chance we missed something small here, but probably fine. Technically speaking, depending on how you feel, if you're playing along with us, with regard to how spoiler sensitive you are, there are, in fact, in the Mass Effect wiki, maps of every planet that you can go to, and they will tell you both where the like predetermined anomalies are, and actually, in some cases, tell you what they are. But they will also inform you of anything that is hidden and not on the starting map. So, like these mineral deposits, for example, we wouldn't have known unless we happened to come across them. So, if you want to take out all that mystery and you just want to be as efficient as possible and head straight for all the various anomalies and minerals and whatever else you might encounter, then that is the best way to do that. Of course, assuming you're willing to make that sacrifice and just know preemptively where you're supposed to go, which in some cases, for some people, may feel like you're taking away a bit from the exploration. You know, it's just depends on what your preference is. Are you more about the exploration? Is that something that is something that you enjoy? Is that something that you want to get the most out of by feeling that sense of discovery whenever you come across something? Or do you feel like, well, it's mostly just the travel around in the Mako as a means to the end, and I don't really care about it too much. What I do care about are these mineral deposits that we are now finding another of, hiding in this corner over here. In this case, palladium. Palladium? Palladium, I think. Here we go. Okay. This one seems perhaps a little bit tougher. Waiting for our opening here. Oh, perhaps I'm being too patient. I'm definitely being too patient. There we go. Okay. Huzzah. So I would like to tell you that after you've found X number of special things in a given planet, that you're probably good to go. I don't necessarily think there's a perfect answer. I think it does vary from planet to planet. Three unexpected things is probably roughly what it is on average, but it could certainly go a little bit below that or even higher than that. Sometimes, I mean, in this case, it's quite simply all various types of ore deposits. That is definitely not always the case. It can be a variety of different things, but at least in this case, I believe that likely means that we are done here, and you know, if we missed one thing, then so be it. You know, if totally necessary, then we can scrounge around a bit now. Like we were saying before, this is the site where we found all the Marines, right? And the pressure maw? I believe so. Is it, though? Actually, it is not. So here's an example of something where it does not appear as though there's any loot here, per se. There's nothing to interact with, but there is, you know, a broken down piece of machinery that they were presumably using. So there's, you know, like some additional lore or context or story behind some of the stuff we're seeing there. And so in some cases it means some small things to experience that you might miss out on. You don't explore every nook and cranny. But whoa! I think we've done everything we're looking to do here, though. And so whenever you're on one of these uncharted worlds, again, basically a world in which it's not a main quest mission, you can at least when you're not out in combat, you can leave the world at any point in time. On PlayStation, it would be the square button. On PC, it is... Oh no, not that. It's key bindings, right? It is... F. Okay. F to leave. Sure? Alright, so that means we'll head back to the Normandy. And we were talking about this a little bit before, but technically speaking, if you want to finish those quests for getting all of the rare earth metals and gases and what have you, and Solarian League of One tags and Prothean data disks, then those are things that you're gonna need to do some pretty aggressive exploration in order to complete. So just heads up on that, and because, like I was saying, for particularly the minerals one, there technically are, in most cases, I think, more minerals in existence in the world than you actually need to complete the mission. You can skip some of them, but not many. Okay, so we have now done most of that mission there, in that we've done the hard part, the missing Marines, found the recon team, and we got the distress call as well, but we now need to speak to Admiral Kahoku, and, well, we found the dead bodies of the people who serve under Admiral Kahoku, and so, yeah, we just need to send the message now, and so that means we would need to go back to the Citadel to do that. There are definitely plenty of things for us to do at the Citadel right now, so there's absolutely reason to go back there soon. Question is just, do we do that now? Do we do more things out in space for the time being? Because, of course, what with the Citadel being the hub of the, well, Council species, that means that there's definitely going to be reasons to come back to the Citadel fairly often, and so you could make a point of either doing as many things as possible out in the vastness of the Milky Way, and then come back to the Citadel and turn in a bunch of quests and do a bunch of quests at the Citadel as well, and just do them in big chunks. But I think we might want to try to split things up a little bit between, okay, we obviously just did a main quest, we also did that side quest there, and it's been a little while at least since we were last at the Citadel, so why don't we stop by and, we won't necessarily do everything Citadel-oriented this instant, but still, I think good to mix it up a bit now and head on back over. So let's do it. So, done on Daedalus. And done in, at least for now, Artemis Tau cluster, although we've not yet explored everything there. So let's head back to the Citadel. One other thing to bear in mind as you are exploring the various different clusters in Milky Way in Mass Effect is it can become kind of hard to keep track of which places you have and have not already been to and explored and done the quests in. So for that reason, there is perhaps some logic to deliberately just going one cluster at a time and trying to do everything in that area while you're there, because otherwise, say we do a little bit on Artemis Tau now, then we go over back to the Citadel, and then once we're done the Citadel, maybe we go Argus Row, and then maybe we go back to the Citadel, and then maybe we go Hawking Ida, and then, by the time we've done that, we're asking ourselves, well, I know we were in the Artemis Tau cluster, but did we do everything there? I don't remember. So, you can sort of look at completed quests to figure it out, but that's kind of a bother, and even then, you might not might not have a quest listed for every single place, and so you might still have some gaps. You might still have some gaps. So, for that reason, we might, in fact, double back to the Artemis Tau cluster later on, but, of course, then again, we're going to hear of additional missions in additional places later on, which we just may not know about yet, and so we might be unaware of other things in the general area. Okay, so back in the Widow Cluster, and of course the only thing here is the Citadel, so we will make a landing. Okay, so I mean we are at the Citadel, yes, although we technically still need to leave Normandy. So, let's do that. I don't think we'll have anything new to chat with people about. Not much has happened since we last chatted with people. But if we're exiting, it means we do need to pick some friends here. And I was thinking, on this occasion when we're going through the Citadel, remember, there are achievements for completing a certain number of missions with each of your allies. Before Legendary Edition, those achievements require that you do the majority of the game with a given ally, which meant that you would basically be partying with the two same allies for the vast majority of the game. I was not a huge fan of that because it meant you couldn't adapt to the situation very much. You didn't get the chance to experience too many things with some of your teammates if you were spending all that time with just two people. However, and the reason why those achievements are significant is because it's not just a plain and simple, oh, well done, Lids, you achieved playing 55% of the game with Caden Alenko. No, it actually is one of the few, actually there are several achievements that do have gameplay interactions. They, each of those achievements gives you a little bit of a boost to your character, and so, I mean, in some cases, depending on what kind of bonus it is and what kind of character you're using, it can be quite relevant. So, you are kinda missing out if you don't get those achievements, so for that reason, feels like you want to make an effort to at least make an app to a certain extent, but it has changed. It has apparently changed for Legendary Edition. Rather than being the majority of the entire game, and that includes side quests as well, with two people, or with a given person in order to unlock that achievement, which would mean, by definition, you can only do it with two people, because you can only play the majority of the game with two people, one for each squad mate. Now it has been reduced to just 5, I believe, from what I've heard, which is far more feasible, and I think that's much better, assuming that that is correct, because that means that you can do much more of the experimentation, getting the chance to play with other teammates who you might otherwise not have had the chance to know as well. So, that all being said, I've talked a lot about how I think Caden, given how he is also a Sentinel and technically has basically the same abilities as we do, is not someone who we're going to want to have tag along with us all that often because of that. So this on the Citadel is maybe a good opportunity to make that happen when we might be turning in a few quests that we have done all the hard stuff for. Then, other than that, who is someone else we haven't yet done anything with Liara, so why don't we do that? Does mean we have 0 combat strength, but once upon a time in the original Mass Effect trilogy, when having 0 combat abilities meant that, or having 0 skill in a given weapon meant that you couldn't even aim the weapon, that was a serious downside. But since that's no longer a thing, I think actually going 0 combat is not nearly as daunting a task as it might have been previously. So I think this is okay. We'll give it a shot.
Equalizing interior pressure with exterior atmosphere. Logged. The commanding officer is ashore. Exo Presley has the deck.
So that is technically another instance of our loading screen there, just contextualized. Okay, and who is Rear Admiral Mikhailovich?
10 hut. At ease. Rear Admiral Mihailovic, Fifth Fleet.
This is a surprise. What are you doing here?
We weren't told to expect you, sir. I would have prepared a formal greeting.
Spare me the pleasantries. I command the 63rd Scout Flotilla. You and the Normandy were slated for my unit after shakedown. And the Council got their paws, claws, tentacles, whatever. They got them on our ship and you.
I'm sorry, what's the problem here? You're saying you just don't like the Council using the Normandy? I mean, it's potentially an opportunity to get more influence on what the Council is up to, which would bode well for humanity.
I still serve the Alliance, sir. As a Spectre, I can advance our interests to the Council.
You still know what color your blood is, Shepard? I don't begrudge
Oh,
the politician's
gosh.
decision to throw you to the Council. It's an opportunity. I do begrudge this over-designed piece of tin, though.
What? Excuse me. You insulting the Normandy?
The Normandy is a fine ship, sir. She's served us well so far.
It's a gimmick, Commander. Useless in a stand-up fight. This experiment diverted billions from our appropriations bills. For the same price, we could have had a heavy cruiser. But no, we had to make nice to the Turians, throw money at a co-developed boondoggle. I'm here to make an inspection, Commander. Normandy is an Alliance warship. I intend to see she's up to snuff.
Sure?
We'd be honored to show her to you, Admiral.
I'll just bet. Wait here. I won't be long.
Okay.
Commander, I'm not happy.
Sorry? I may not have done the dishes after lunch just yet. Like we said, we weren't expecting to see you, okay?
I'm sorry to hear that, sir.
Who designed that CIC? Putting the commander aft of everyone else is inefficient. What if he needs to discuss with the operators toward the bow?
You see, it's actually a Turian design. So this is actually a charm option here.
Modified Turian style. They prefer commanders looking over their subordinates, rather than in the middle of them. We wanted to see how effectively they can command with that setup.
Reasonable goal, but they should have studied that in a lab rather than on a frontline warship. I had to shake my head at that drive core of yours. 120 billion credits of element 0 to make this thing able to move without giving itself away.
We get it. You don't like the way we funneled money into creating the Normandy.
What good is it to hide for a few hours anyway? Useless.
It is useful, in fact. It is, you know, in theory, something that would have helped us in Eden Prime, but then again, wasn't actually what our mission was for there, but...
We can loiter in an enemy system and monitor traffic, or drop infiltration teams on enemy worlds. Normandy can be more effective than the Solarian STG.
Maybe. But that's not the job of a proper warship.
Yeah, but she's not a proper warship.
To find and kill the enemy fleet, not count how many times their garrison goes to the bathroom. And we need to talk about your crew, Commander. Krogan? Asari?
Yeah, I mean, in case it wasn't apparent before.
Commander? You can't allow alien nationals free access to Alliance equipment?
This guy is a racist. Very clearly, very pro-human, and at the expense of other species.
Between Saren and the Geth, we have enough enemies out here. Treating other species with suspicion and distrust won't win hearts and minds.
That assumes the hearts and minds are worth winning. That hasn't been proven yet.
I don't like
Commander?
this guy.
Any other justifications for the state of this vessel?
Oh, and look at this. Look at this. So, we actually, I mean, bunch of charm options that we just took. But on this occasion, we actually don't have sufficient charm to get the job done. Or intimidation for that matter, but that was probably never going to be the case because we don't really have anything invested there. Yeah, so that's unfortunate. That is definitely unfortunate. But, in that case, I suppose... No.
None, sir.
Very well. I don't agree with any of this, but your reasons seem sound. I'll be submitting a report to the Joint Military Council. It will not be as negative as I'd planned.
Okay.
Good hunting, Commander Shepard. Make us proud.
Also, your eyes are cyan. And we did get experience for that, for whatever it's worth. So, thanks, dude. I believe we have examined this keeper, right? Yeah. We do still have, I think it's maybe 2 more of those. But also, there was the whole, stipulation where supposedly, as we suspected...
In breaking news, Chairman Burns of the Parliament Subcommittee on Transhuman Studies has been kidnapped by biotic extremists.
Oh.
The biotics commandeered a freighter and were last seen in the Hades Gamma Cluster. No demands have yet been made.
Okay. That certainly sounds like that could be something that's useful for us to know. Oh. Oh, no. Hello
Commander
there.
Shepard? Khalees been seen in Al-Jalani, Westerland News. Would you answer a few questions for our viewers?
So, I believe, if I remember correctly, this is perhaps one of the most, significant? I don't know. Noteworthy? Memorable? Options? Interactions? In Mass Effect 1? And, well... we'll see why. If I'm getting this one correctly. I think it is.
What do you want to know?
You've been given a unique position to represent our race. People want to get a sense of how you'll do that.
Her eyes. What just happened? Just went all
Humans
demon
have been
mode
trying
on
to
us.
get the respect of the galactic community for 26 years. With that in mind, what are your feelings on being the first human Spectre?
So, this is the one occasion, maybe the one occasion, on which I might go Renegade with deliberately go Renegade with our options, because, if I'm remembering this correctly, I think this is, very interesting what happens if we go that route, so, maybe we'll try to be a little bit more of a disgruntled Spectre on this occasion.
We all know it should have happened years ago. I hope the Council realizes that we won't sit at the kids' table forever.
Some believe that without firm action on our part, the Council will continue to treat us like poor relations. Have you encountered any situations where the Citadel asked you to place its needs before the needs of Earth?
So, like here, for example, we do have the option of going the Intimidate route, which is not common. We can make that happen. You technically do gain 1 point in whichever option you did not make a point in upgrading. Just by leveling up, I think, at 1 point, it basically grants you a free skill in that. So we do actually have 1 point in Intimidate. If you're wondering, like, Lids, how's that even possible? I don't think you ever spent any points in it. We didn't, but we did get one for free, so to speak. So, like I said, I think I am actually on this occasion gonna try to go this route here.
I think they know not to ask me to work against my own people.
I think our viewers will be glad to hear that, Commander. You've been given command of an advanced human warship for your missions. Is there anything you'd like to say about it?
I'm done talking to you. Turians did help build it, so we're missing out on like potential Paragon points, yes, but we'll be fine. We'll be fine for that. This conversation is over, though.
I've had enough of your snide insinuations.
Bam!
You son of a bitch! I'll make sure everyone in the Alliance sees that. Your career is over.
We'll see about that. Yep. So we got some Renegade points for that one. Actually, we did just get the achievement, I believe, for completing missions with Sentinel. Must have been Caden. Yeah. So there you have it. There's 5 missions completed with Caden, and finishing it in style at that. So, in truth, what that means is we could potentially even head... This is one thing you can do. We could deliberately
In remembrance of
head
evil
back.
crime, we present another profile in courage with serviceman Nirali Bhatia. A devoted wife and talented chef, serviceman Bhatia joined the Alliance military under the Deferred Education Plan. After finishing her service, Batia planned to open a restaurant. Instead, she gave her life protecting the colonists of Eden Prime. For more profiles in Courage, or to explore opportunities in the military, please visit the Alliance Military on the extranet. Keyword, Courage.
So I believe that is the name of the woman who we helped get her burial. Person who was getting some experimental, or they're researching her body to see what happened to her, the way that she died. So what we're doing here, just to clarify, is whenever you're in the Citadel, we had the option to change our party when we were first here, because we kept on meeting people for the first time, like Garrus, like Rex, like Tally. However, that is not something that happens usually. Usually, once you set your team, when you go to the Citadel, it's set in stone until you leave the Citadel and come back on a future occasion. So what we're going to do here is we're deliberately going to basically re-enter the Normandy and then re-enter the Citadel, and in doing so, just reset our team. And the reason for this...
Logged. The commanding officer is aboard. XO Presley stands relieved.
Except not really. The reason for this is so this way we can now reselect a team. We'll definitely go with Liara here, and we will deliberately exclude Caden because, like I said, we just got the achievement for completing, I think it's 5 missions with Caden, and that does confirm the theory we were saying just before, that I had heard that the number is significantly reduced, is basically in order of magnitude less than it used to be. So, Caden is done in that sense. I think we probably take other people that we've not done many missions with yet as well, because when we're on the Citadel, we have a lot of opportunity to just complete a bunch of quests. In some cases, it's going to be kind of like this one, where, the one we were planning to do, we have done all the stuff on the distant planet, and then we're just turning things in. Other times, there are quests that are entirely based on the Citadel. So, there's a lot of quests to complete here on the Citadel. So, for that reason, I think Tally and Liara are the two that we have used the least, I want to say.
Equalizing interior pressure with exterior atmosphere. Logged. The commanding officer is ashore. XO Presley has the deck.
Any people here to inspect our spaceship? Doesn't look like it. So now, we'll head out.
With all this exploration of Prothean culture, this must be like a survey for you, Liara.
Our travels now are somewhat different from my normal excavations. I would prefer lengthier studies and fewer explosions.
Yes, most of the technology I had hoped to bring back to the flotilla has subsequently attempted to kill us.
And so there are some of those conversations like that where part of the reason why I think it's a good thing to get the chance to play more with a different combination of characters is some of them have unique dialogue that you would only hear with that combination of people. And so, for example, I'm not sure how much I ever played with the combination of Liara plus Tally together. I do like playing with Rex and Garrus. So I think, actually my first playthrough, I think the ones that I spent the most time with were Tally plus Rex.
To direct Hamlet with Elcor cast members. Production will open dramatic
Elcor in a play?
with a Hamlet who uses Elcor body language and pheromones. Kit claims that he's also excited by giving a human audience the chance to judge Hamlet by his deeds and not his emotions.
I suppose there's something to be said for that. Okay, so now that we are up at the Presidium, we had heard there was someone over here in the lounge area that wanted to speak to us. We got that message while we were in the Normandy. So maybe we just, while we're in the area, check that out real quick. Also, hold on. Is there a keeper in here, and if so, have we examined it? Because we have not. Okay, so this is one of them. I just want to make sure this is not the last one, because we actually don't want to examine all of them. Let's see, scan keepers. We have 17. Okay, so still safe. Let's do it. And in fact, that is enough experience for us to level up. So, again, I believe that has happened to us before, but when scanning keepers. But you do want to try to get a lot of them in order to maximize that experience. And that does mean that now we have 2 more points for us. And for us, I think we now go to maybe lift. Try to get that as high up as possible. And then we talked to you before we had the trial with Saren. I don't know if we ever talked to you after, though.
So they finally did it. I knew one of your kind would make Spectre.
Or after we got
I only hope
turned into a Spectre.
Sending you after.
We'll try to behave.
I'll do everything I can to stop Saren.
That's what worries me. Was there something you wanted?
Yeah, because, again, this guy, Executor Palin, is the head of the police force, basically, on the Citadel. So, doing anything we can to stop Saren perhaps implies we'd be willing to break the law to do so. And so he's like, well, hold on, you're making my life a whole lot more difficult.
I'll be going now.
Goodbye, Commander.
Okay, but, this is the place we're looking for. Because you may recall, we tried speaking to Nasana previously, but she was having none of it, but she was the one who messaged us while we were on the Normandy.
Commander Shepard, I am Nasana Dantius. I see you got my message.
So now she's willing to talk. Is there an issue?
It sounded like you needed some help.
I do. My sister Dahlia is a crewman on the cargo vessel operating out beyond the fringes of the Traverse. Her ship was attacked by privateers. There were no reported survivors.
That's a shame?
I'm sorry for your loss.
This is where it gets complicated. Last week, I received a message with her voice on it. Dahlia is alive.
What?
The rest of the crew was killed, but she was taken prisoner. The slavers demanded a huge ransom from me in exchange for returning her unharmed.
Hold on. Why is your sister just so happen to be the only person who got spared?
Why didn't the raiders kill Dahlia along with everyone else?
My sister probably told them who she was. My family's very wealthy, Shepard. They must have realized she was worth more to them alive.
You say your family is very wealthy. So, if we help you out, that's gotta mean, you got the money to pay up, right?
Coming up with the ransom seems like the best way to ensure Dahlia's safety.
or just pay her ransom.
That's what I thought. I did what they wanted. Transferred the funds to the account they specified. Only they never released her. They haven't contacted me since. I've made a terrible mistake, Shepard. I'm a diplomatic emissary. By law, I'm required to report any attempted extortion to CSEC immediately.
Oh.
But I was
does
afraid for
kind of
Dahlia.
put you in a tough spot.
So I just paid the ransom. Now she's still missing. And if anyone finds out what I did, I could end up in jail.
Yeah, that is tough. We could just say, that's a stupid one. Well, I mean, understandably in this situation, when it's a family member or a loved one who's getting held for ransom, then there is certainly that urge to immediately jump in and do something about it, and then you kind of forget the whole, like, hold on, these are criminals here who are probably not actually going to release this person if I pay them money. They're just going to take the money and use it and run away. So, and do whatever they want with the prisoner. So, I don't know if it's a stupid law per se, but sure.
Why would they put you in jail? You're the victim here.
Government representatives on the Citadel are not allowed to negotiate with terrorists. It's too dangerous.
Yeah, mostly that.
Paying a ransom would only encourage more kidnappings. I support the law in theory, but when I got the message, all I could think about was Dahlia's safety.
Yeah, it's a little closer to home.
I doubt
when
they
it's
would
a loved
actually
one.
send me to prison for what I did, but they would strip me of my post, and Dahlia would still be in the hands of the slavers.
Sounds like you could use the hand of a specter.
You want me to find her and bring her back?
You only need to bring her back. I've already found her for you.
Oh?
I tracked the ransom payment through several accounts. Eventually, it led to a small mercenary band operating out of the Artemis Tau cluster. I need you to go to the Merc base, take them out, and bring my sister back. You shall be well rewarded.
So, Artemis Tau was in fact the place where we just were. And so what I was saying before was how, you know, there's one thing to be said, you could potentially deliberately go out of your way to do everything there is to be done in a given cluster, so that way you can kind of just check it off and say, okay, been there, done that, and that way, towards the end of the game, as you're trying, if you're being a completionist, and you're trying to figure out, okay, what have I done, what have I not done, there isn't this question of like, oh man, have I gone here yet? What is missing? What do I still need to do? But on this occasion, if we had tried to do that, then we wouldn't, if we had immediately tried to do that, then we wouldn't have had enough information to actually do this mission. So, might not have been possible, although on some occasions, you know, there may be multiple ways to learn about a mission. You might hear about it directly from a person who wants you to complete it for them, or you might just happen across the place in which, you know, this kind of stuff is happening, in which case, usually that's still possible to get the job done. But, can you tell us anything else about the kidnappers?
Anything you can tell me about the mercs who have your sister?
Pretty much what you'd expect. Rough, dangerous, and well-armed. Nothing a Spectre cannot handle, though.
I hope so. Why us? I mean, we are a Spectre, so, like, it's probably the answer.
Can't you hire someone else to do this?
I do not want to take chances with my sister's life. I need a Spectre.
Exactly. I mean,
Besides,
makes sense.
You operate outside official channels. My superiors cannot find out I never reported the ransom in the first place.
Okay. What about how exactly you track that ransom? That's a little odd, how you were able to do that. You know, usually that stuff is fairly difficult to do, and you say you're just a diplomat. You're not like some tech engineer who is skilled in the way of tracing wire transfers or whatever it was that you were, or communication channels.
How'd you find out who was behind the ransom?
I have resources, contacts, and credits.
But you said you
go a long
weren't going to be
way,
able to
especially if you're
talk
willing
to
to
people.
bend the rules. I already
Besides
broke
us.
the law when I paid the ransom. This couldn't make things any worse.
That's a really bad approach. Really bad attitude to take. You know, I already accidentally walked out of this building with this, this bottle of water, so I suppose that means I'm a thief and I'm a criminal, so while I'm at it, I might as well just, you know, murder some people, and yeah, you know, something like no. It's not a good idea. I don't do this for payment. I'll do it or forget it. Not entirely sure what Shepard's getting at here. Is he basically just saying, we're not in it for the money, we're in it to do the right thing?
Keep your reward. I'll bring your sister back. I promise.
Thank you, Shepard. I knew you were the right man for the job. Come back and see me when the job is done.
Alright. That means we do... Okay there. We do now have a new journal entry for that. Sorry, diplomacy. Find Dahlia. Go to the Macedon system in the Artemis Tau cluster and infiltrate the mercenary base. So, yeah, that is one of the other systems in the Artemis Tau cluster where we just were. We did not yet, I believe, take a look at that system specifically.